All right, morning all. It's edition 9, I think, of this session with Dawn every morning. Interesting day today. It's 1st of April. We know what that means. But you can believe that we will stick to the script and be as genuine and as open as we can. Of course, we're not going to play any tricks or anything like that. My only nod to April Fool's Day is something related to what I spoke about 2 or 3 days ago, which was collections of kit around the house. And what I've done is I'm just going to see how observant Dawn is when we talk to her in a bit. You can see here, you probably can't pick them out, that one there, one up the top there. There's a couple of others somewhere. These are Dawn's, a couple more there. These are part of Dawn's turtle collection. We paid a few quid for 1 or 2 of those. I can remember when we were on holiday. But we'll see how valuable they are. She might, by the time she sits down to record with me, she might have spotted that 1 or 2 are missing or been moved. So we shall see whether she picks up on that. Good day yesterday. Loads of quite meaty feedback we got, but it started with quite a touching little message. Phil O'Dell just wanted us to know I'm here, he says. So that was great start to the day. Just knowing that is so nice. So thanks, Phil, for that. And I say we've got a bit of feedback here. Some of it I think really has to be reserved for Dawn's comment, and some of it was directed to me. Steve Fury asked about more book recommendations. Steve is an athletics coach at Medway and Maidstone, really good runner back in the day, spent some time in America. So excuse all other viewers, but there's a couple of books here I picked out that might appeal to Steve. One is called Running with the Buffaloes, which I suspect he's read, which is about the Colorado University cross-country team. And then one I really enjoyed, but I think I've met only one other person that's ever read it, because it's got 440 pages, is about the most successful coach in NCAA history, John McDonald from Arkansas. And I think Steve would love it. It's about 21 quid from Amazon. It's in stock at the moment. I don't get any commission, but there you go. For others, I've got to admit, when Steve asked the question, I thought about it. There's not many books I actually get to read these days. I'm just full on with coaching, team management, and reading social media, it seems. And if they are books that I've read, there's loads of running books, of course, and athletics books. Or if not that, then sporting books. A couple of my books are missing, which are really good. One's by Tyler Hamilton, the ex-Tour de France cyclist who used to compete alongside Lance Armstrong, who was the whistleblower in the Lance Armstrong case, and it's called The Secret Race. That's really quite an insight into the doping situation in cycling that was going on back then. And the other one I really enjoyed, and I reckon I've lent these books out to people. You know what it's like, you lend them out and you never get them back. It's called Winning, and that's by Clive Woodward, who managed the England rugby team and the British Lions, but he was a really successful businessman as well. And I think a lot of his principles can apply to all sorts of aspects of life. So I think that was a really good book that I remember reading. Now, just going through some more, so I hope that placates Steve for a few days. Going through Lewis Moses, spot on with the answers. This is to Dawn. Dawn for PM, I think it means Prime Minister. Yeah, I might ask her about that, Lewis, but to be honest, we could do without another general election at the moment, I think. So that'll have to go on the back burner. Coming down, we've got good questions from Grazia Manzotti, Scott Shermer, which I'm going to use in my dialogue with Dawn. We've also got Andy Poppleton, who's feeling a little bit guilty now that he never really feel like I have much to add in the comment, but these brighten up my day, keep them going. Well, I spoke to Andy yesterday, and he's one of the people I know who looks like he's had coronavirus and had it pretty bad, and wasn't hospitalised, but he made a good recovery. And it was good to talk to Andy yesterday. He coaches sprints and hurdles at Tunbridge Athletic Club, and yeah, he had it tough, but he seems to be on the mend, thankfully, and all good there. My brother Adam's now joining the party, a little bit more spirit, and again, I'm going to use a bit of his feedback to pose some questions to Dawn. But I would say the other thing he said was ask about inspirations. Well, you need to ask your viewers to send in their pics and stories of a special award or trophy they were given, or which brings back a great memory for them. Well, that's really nice. I don't believe in flaunting trophies and things like that. Don't really. Well, yeah, I think people can be a little bit egotistical, or yeah, self publicity doesn't go down well with a lot of people. So you have to be really careful about publishing stuff like that. But yeah, any interesting ones? I mean, I showed off a couple of certificates, so yeah, I'd go for that. If anyone really hasn't got an audience for their awards, Adam, my youngest brother's obviously got something to show us, so I look forward to seeing that later. I think that's about all for my preamble. Yeah, I think that's about it. And thanks for the feedback. Terrific. I'm going to leave it to Dawn now to answer some of the other questions that were posed in the feedback. Hi, Dawn. Can you hear me? Hello. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just going to adjust the sound. Just hold on a sec.
All right. I can hear loud and clear. We might be in a situation where Oscar barked to go out, and he's probably not made his mind out, and he barked to come back in. So we'll have to excuse that from the viewers. But right, I was saying in my preamble to the viewers that we're getting some good response. So we've got some quite hard-hitting questions here for you.
I'm not sure I can answer all these questions, but I'll do my best.
No, but we've had some very supportive feedback. For example, Lewis Moses, who I know, who's based in Loughborough and coaches, spot on with the answers. Dawn for PM, Prime Minister.
Well, that's a load of rubbish. How can I run for Prime Minister? I don't know how to run a country. I need lots of people behind me if I was going to do that, but I'm not.
So you consider it then?
No, I would not. I'm looking after you. That takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a slurp of my tea now.
That's right. That's allowed. And the other thing that's coming across is there's a couple of questions coming out now where it's almost you're being asked to be an agony aunt like Deirdre. So, which would you prefer, to be Deirdre or the Prime Minister?
Neither. I don't want to have to advise people, just in case my advice goes pear-shaped. Then what are they going to do? They're going to come round and blame me for it because it didn't work out properly. This culture of blame is so worldwide, it just gets on my nerves.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't fancy either of those jobs. Okay.
No, I do not. Sorry.
Right. So we go into the first question, which is more a Deirdre question. It comes from Grazia Manzotti, and you did answer it yesterday, but I want to explore the answer a little bit better. Grazia was talking about having a boyfriend and girlfriend that lived 20 miles apart, and they're both isolating, of course, and following government guidelines. A few of her friends said there wouldn't be any harm in her going over to see him, and she resisted that temptation, of course. What's your opinion of that situation? in this.
Oh, it is heartbreaking. But everybody's in the same situation. Um, we've all got to sort of like be sensible, do what we've been asked, and that is the problem. It's you've got to apply it to the whole of your life. But she could get Zoom. She could actually see him, video. She could FaceTime him. She could see how he is. But to be quite honest with you, he's not that bothered, is he? Uh,
How do you know that?
because that's what she told me separately.
Oh,
But in a sense, in a sense, they want to do what's right to help. So I mean, when I say he's not bothered, he thinks he can ride the tide out.
okay, all right, okay. Well, it's an interesting one because it made me think: is it worse living apart like that, or is it worse living with someone you can't stand? Because I was just reading about a couple that are actually were in the brink of splitting up, and they've been forced back into a flat together, and they're driving each other nuts. So, Grazia could, think the grass is greener, but actually it can be a lot worse, couldn't it, for people?
Of course, but it depends on what sort of person. Yeah, you drive me nuts at times, but I just go and find something else to do.
Yeah, not so easy in a little flat or something like that, though.
I appreciate that. I mean, but as I said to Gracia, it's not forever, is it? This type of living is not going to be forever. At some stage, we will see the end of the tunnel. Not yet, because it's in the middle of it, I believe. But eventually, we'll get back to being able to visit people, etc. So why can't we wait? Why is it so urgent that everybody has to do these things immediately?
Yeah. Okay, well, the message is hang in there, Grazia. And just touching on something my brother Adam, my youngest brother, Adam, came out with. I mean, he's really got into the spirit of this now. He was a slow burner, but he come up with a few points yesterday, and he didn't like your decision about disqualifying the under-13 girls relay, that he would have disqualified them. You said you'd give them a second chance. So that was one thing. But he also said he sensed some tension in this broadcast, but understandable if you've been under Dawn's feet for 2 days. There wasn't any tension, was there?
Wow, let's put it this way. There could have been some tension, but I mean, it's difficult. You have to be firm but fair, and that comes across as tension sometimes, or aggression, or I don't like that. People don't like being told no, or there's something that they disagree with. I don't know, but no, there's no tension between us.
Yeah.
Come back in a couple of days.
And then I wasn't sure about this one. This is you're now putting your Prime Minister's hat on, because Scott Shermer, who's a member of the Athletic Club, was talking about essential workers. He's considered one of them. I won't go into detail in his particular work, but it's almost impossible to maintain the criteria of staying 2 meters apart, social distancing, when you're an essential worker and part of a team. Got any thoughts on that one for Scott? Right, you don't want to duck the question, do we? And we want to try and help him. Got any thoughts?
No, I totally agree with him. I mean, I went shopping yesterday, and there were 3 young Waitrose staff standing about half a metre apart in together. So 3 of them were all together. So I do understand where he's coming from. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. I mean, I've been racking my brains thinking you just have to take the best care, keep washing your hands, and don't shake hands and things like this. But it is absolutely awful, because it's against your very nature that you're having to work with. But we need people. I mean, our internet went down. Thank God we've got people out there working to be able to mend it, etc. But we've got people that could and have kept the country going, etc. And Scott's one of those, and I think he's just got to do his best, and he's got to take every situation that he comes in and think, right, now how do I approach this? And yes, he's never going to keep the 2 meter rule. I totally agree with him.
The difficulty is he's living with other people, you see, and he's worried about bringing something back to them.
I know exactly where he would be. I mean, I worry about this as well. I'm out, etc. But if I was in a work environment and I felt I was compromised, I'd be like sort of washing my hands, changing my clothes. I would be I'd have a backup, etc. We don't know how this virus is spreading, so we don't know how to attack, to defend ourselves. And so you just have to do all those things that you don't normally do to protect your loved ones, not sort of cuddle them as you go home, have a shower, wash, etc. before you do anything else. It's not nice. It's horrible. And my heart goes out to him. It must be awful, because it is a worry, because you'd be the person who thinks, I brought this into the house, I gave it to them, and you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know how they're going to come through. So he's in an awful position. I do sympathise, and my heart goes out to him.
Yeah. I think, from my perspective, I think the key is, of course, touching a face, mouth, and stuff like that, as you said, all those protections. But I think also, from a practical point of view, you should, if they don't, they should be having a team meeting at work to go through every possible scenario, and what they can do to reduce it. And you should be having a team meeting at home in the same way.
Yeah, but his job would say, like, if he was stuck somewhere, he would have to say, can you hand me a spanner or something like that? And that would mean contact. So, if you're going to be underneath a car maintaining it, etc., which is what his job is, it's not going to be easy to keep that sort of distance, is it?
No. Okay, that's terrific. Oscar's barking out in the garden, so next job, one of us go take him for a walk. Final message to the nation?
Chin up, keep going. We don't know how long we've got to do this, but just don't give up yet.
Well done. Excellent. Thanks, Dawn.
Bye.
Bye. Well, she's gone and didn't spot the turtles, so I might leave them up there for another day. Cheerio, everyone.